Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. So I'm here to talk about the NBA playoffs. And as much as I thought we were going to get Detroit in the playoffs this year, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. It looks like we're going to get Milwaukee, which isn't the end of the world. I'm going to be honest with you, it's really not. They don't have Damian Lillard. Their team is kind of in shambles outside of Giannis. We've played them before. We've beaten them before. Pascal Siakam usually goes pretty fucking bonkers against Milwaukee, so I'm actually excited for that. Milwaukee's record against teams above 500 is not great. Record teams over 500. I know they have a negative record against teams over 500. Yeah, the Bucks are 11-20. They're 11-20 against teams above 500 this year. We are 16-15. Granted, it's not much. It's not a whole. Actually, it is a whole hell of a lot better. At least we're positive. But they're 11-20 against teams above 500 this year. And I feel like in the offseason, Doc Rivers is gone. I just feel like that's happening. I have a feeling they're going to try to trade Damian Lillard. I feel like that's coming. It's unfortunate that we're playing Milwaukee, though, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I really, really wanted Detroit. I really did, because these fans have been running their mouths all fucking year, and I don't even think Isaiah Stewart plays basketball. This dude just looks to fight people. But Detroit is 10-22 against teams above 500. Milwaukee's 11-20. But the thing is, Detroit, if you can stop Cade Cunningham and Malik Beasley, you can stop that team. Whoever plays Detroit, let's see, Detroit is most likely going to end up playing the Knicks in the first round. They're probably going to lose that series in 5 games, if I'm being honest with you. I really think the Knicks beat them in 5 games, maybe even 4. Just because the Knicks have a whole hell of a lot more star power than the Detroit Pistons do. I don't think there's a world in which Jalen Duren is stopping Karl Anthony Towns. I don't think there's a world in which, Asar Thompson is stopping Jalen Brunson. I don't think there's a world in which Malik Beasley is stopping OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. I just don't think that's happening. I just think New York is way too loaded for Detroit to end up winning that series. I feel like if Detroit wins anything in that series, it'll be 1 game. Like, I'm predicting that Detroit loses to the Knicks in 5 games. That's what I think. I just don't think Detroit is as competitive as people think. Their record against teams above 500 is 10-22. It's abysmal. Okay? Now, as for Milwaukee, they're 11-20 against teams above 500, like I said. The rest of their season, their remaining schedule looks incredibly easy. Not incredibly easy, but a lot easier than Detroit's. Detroit plays Memphis tonight. Milwaukee's playing Miami tonight. Then Milwaukee plays New Orleans. The Timberwolves, they play New Orleans again. And then their last 2 games of the season are against Detroit. Detroit, if I'm correct, they play Milwaukee for the last 2 games of the season. Tonight they play Memphis. Then I think they play Sacramento. And their last 2 games, I think one of them is against the Cavs. No, then they play the Knicks. So the last 5 games for the Detroit Pistons are Memphis, Sacramento, the Knicks, and then Milwaukee twice. Whereas Milwaukee's last 5 games is Miami, New Orleans, Minnesota, New Orleans, and then Detroit twice. So more likely than not, we are going to end up playing the Milwaukee Bucks. And you know what? I'm here for it, okay? I think the Bucks are on their way out. I feel like the championship window for Giannis in Milwaukee has closed. He's really the only guy on that team that is like the best offensive player and the best defensive player. I feel like there's going to be a whole hell of a lot of changes for that team coming up this offseason. Like I said, I think Doc Rivers is gone. I think Bobby Portis is probably gone. I think Brook Lopez is probably gone. Actually, maybe not gone, but they're going to let him become a free agent and maybe bring him back for significantly less money. He's not worth $23 million a year anymore. He's just not. Pat Connaughton, probably gone. Gary Trent Jr., probably gone because he's on a vet minimum deal. He's probably going to go someplace else that has a better chance at winning. He's a really, really good player playing on a really, really bad team. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Gary Trent Jr. ends up on the Lakers. I really wouldn't. But yeah, this team is probably done. And they're going to have to do a lot of maneuvering this offseason to try and keep Giannis happy. There's a world in which they maybe trade Damian Lillard, just because after this upcoming season, he has a player option for the following season, and I just have a feeling Damian Lillard he might accept that player option, but I just feel like he does not want to be in Milwaukee. I feel like Miami is the place he wants to be, and if opting out of his contract allows him to get there, I think he's going to do that. So, yeah, I'm going to be honest, this is probably the last hurrah for the Milwaukee Bucks. And they're a team that I think we end up beating. I'm going to be honest, I think we could beat them in 5 or 6 games, even with Giannis. The last couple of years, Giannis in the regular season's averaged 42 points a game against us, and we still managed to beat them. So, as long as Ty is on his game and Pascal is on his game, I think we'll be fine. Obviously, anything is possible, but we're at a time where Ben Shepherd looks like he's starting to get his jump shot back. Benedict Mathurin, we're probably going to have Benedict Mathurin in these playoffs this year. Jarris Walker is going to get some meaningful playoff experience. Yeah, it sucks that we don't have Isaiah Jackson because he was a big deal for us in the playoffs last year, but the Pacers have a team that's set for this, essentially. Not having Damian Lillard means, Andrew Nembhard might be able to run more double teams on Giannis with Aaron Nesmith or somebody. I actually think Pascal Siakam does a relatively decent job too of not stopping Giannis, but just making his life difficult. I think Siakam's decent at that. So we'll see. I think the Pacers do end up beating the Bucks in probably 5 or 6 games, if I'm being honest, just because the Bucks do not have a good record against teams above 500. I feel like Giannis is on his way to being mentally checked out. I feel like that is I don't want to say it's a foregone conclusion, but it seems to be that way. It just seems like everything in Milwaukee is going wrong, and, they're not the same team that they once were. Trading for Damian Lillard really kind of fucked their whole vibe up. You got rid of Drew Holiday, and then, of course, you trade him to Portland, and then Drew Holiday ends up in Boston, of all places. So there's really not a whole lot going on for either team, depending on whatever one we get. Obviously, we could still get Detroit, and I kind of hope we get Detroit because these motherfuckers have been running their mouths all season, and I'm tired of hearing it. I think they need to be humbled a little bit. And I honestly feel like if the Pacers ended up playing the Pistons anyway, we'd beat them in 5 games. I really do. I don't think Detroit is as good as a team as they've been made out to be. I think they are a solid team, but I don't think they're as good as they're being hyped up to be. Malik Beasley's been a good defender and an efficient shooter all year. And Cade Cunningham has been very good. But if you can stop Cade Cunningham, you can beat that team. And we have Andrew Nembhard and Aaron Nesmith that can take that assignment. So, I don't know. I just think the whole thing is going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be fun to watch. And we'll see. We'll see who we get. But it's looking like it's going to be a Milwaukee matchup again. I would be very shocked if it isn't. The Pelicans are actively trying to lose games anyway. And Milwaukee plays... Let's put it this way. Milwaukee plays Miami tonight, okay? They're going to play the Pelicans twice. They play Minnesota once, which is a game they could lose. But they're playing the Pelicans twice. They're looking to lose. And I think they probably split the series against Detroit for the last 2 games. They probably win 1 game and lose 1 game. And that'll be enough for Milwaukee to secure the 5th seed. So... see what happens. We'll see what happens with the rest of this year. But I'm very excited. Playoffs are coming here. I'm going to have something to fucking talk about. We're going to have a whole lot of shit to talk about. Off season is coming. Finally, we're gonna start getting some content again because I'll be honest, man, I've been kind of going a little longer than usual with releasing videos, and just because there's really not a whole hell of a lot to talk about, and even the things that I do want to talk about, they're not topics that I really feel like, I don't know, I want to talk about them, but I don't. Like John Morant getting fined $75,000 for a gun gesture. It's like, I don't know. I could talk about that, but I don't think I could drag it out for 8 minutes. I don't know. But anyway, tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.